Well, good evening, Dave. I think somebody we have one. I think somebody forgot to unlock the door at the bar.
That's a slap in the nuts. The wives don't even join, huh? They're like, yeah. Forget you guys.
Talking about a dick punch.
Wait, go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm going to do this.
It's all right. Some people watch it on replay, right?
We have two.
Oh.
And we have the obligatory too.
The obligatory. Yeah, that's all right.
I like that. Hi, all. Hello.
Hi, both of you.
That's
both of you.
That's support.
Okay.
That is support. Maybe you were right. Maybe we scared everybody off last week. We had 25 people last week.
I was gonna say maybe it's the title. They're like first date. I don't want to watch that with these.
Well, guys. I thought that would be funny because they know that we've been married for 100,000 years, and they're gonna like, what are these two idiots gonna know about first dates?
That's true. What are you smoking there, buddy?
I am smoking a Arturo Fuente Chateau from their Grand Reserve. Yeah.
You know, I'm terrible with the names of the actual. I don't know. I guess some I know, but like Arturo Fuente, I'm just smoking Arturo. I don't know which one.
Well, I mean, the only reason I knew that is because I read it off the wrapper.
Yeah.
It's a small Connecticut. In fact, it's shorter than a Robusto.
There you go.
So what are you drinking?
What am I drinking?
Yeah.
I'm drinking Kirkland's brand Isla Single Malt. I'm still on my trend of trying to get rid of the bottles that are a third full or less.
We'd like to say hi to Amber, and I'm sure with Amber, spiders in tow.
Spiders in town.
I am drinking Stoke. I am drinking Stoke cold brew.
Which is
cold brew as dark espresso roast coffee.
But you say it's a celebrity one.
Yes, it's the one that Anthony Hopkins gets paid to hawk.
Oh, he's just the spokesman.
Yeah, in fact he was on. There was a Super Bowl commercial about him being the one of the mascots at one of the soccer games, and he was talking about Stoke, and that's how I heard about it.
You know, I tried because we were kind of talking about celebrity stuff last week with Guy Fieri, right?
Right.
And Tim was saying he's super involved. So I was smoking one of his cigars last week, and I was going to say I also have had his tequila, which is now taken over as my favorite tequila. And I'm bummed because I went to Total Wine last weekend. Is that it? There it is. There it is. I'm gone. Mine's empty and they don't have it.
You're kidding.
Right? But same thing that he's involved in.
Wait a minute. You drank that whole bottle already?
What do you mean already?
It hasn't been that long that you bought it.
Well, you know, every time that there's nachos or tacos or whatever, you know, I get in the fiesta mood, you know. But it's smooth, right?
Oh, I love it.
Good
I
stuff.
absolutely love it.
Yeah.
I love tequila.
Which is why, you know, a lot of people complain that tequila, they get sick on it or they get good to see you, Major Rich. As always.
See, that's another negative about tequila. What you just did.
No. So, you know, people say they get so sick on it and stuff like that. Is tequila the one that people just take shots of? That's the normal way to?
Yeah,
because I sip it just like anything else.
Well, it's changed over the years. Because remember, back in the day, there was Pancho Villa tequila that was $2.99 a gallon, and you used to grab that and some 7-Up, put it in a shot glass, slam it on the ground, and tequila poppers. But I think I told this once before, and a certain individual here knows what happened. During a Super Bowl, we were drinking tequila, and I fell asleep in a bowl of guacamole.
Wow. That's it's nice for the skin though, yeah?
It is a nice avocado rub. But see, the problem with tequila is it is a mind eraser, meaning that you lose swaths of time.
See, that's the thing, is it's got that reputation, but you can the same thing can happen no matter what you're drinking if you just do. So
Well,
so
no,
Spider's got the Cabo Wabo. I've never had that. I should try Cabo Wabo too. Right.
yeah, I've never tried it either.
Right. So that's not good.
Well, wait a minute. Tig Lily says something. Never drink alcohol in the desert on a
Right.
hot day. Well, wait a minute. A nice cold, ice cold Corona with lime or a Coors Light. That's actually good in the or a gin and tonic. A gin and tonic on a 100-degree day is wonderful.
Right.
But yet,
But
if
not
you
if
ask,
that's all you're doing.
well, she says never drink alcohol in the desert on a hot day. Not good, unless of course it's a margarita. I
Margarita.
guarantee you she'll agree that a margarita is okay for that.
Yeah. But I guess the same. I mean, if you're drinking cheap stuff, that's the only way to drink it because it doesn't taste good, right? If you're getting Johnny Walker Red or whatever, you're not sipping on that stuff either, right? I mean, that's what they used to do in the Old West, right? They just get their bottle of whiskey and pour the shots and
then get in a gunfight.
right.
Yeah.
So I'm smoking a Johnny Tobacco Knot,
Delicious.
which is delicious, and it's cool because it's got a little, space guy.
I proved my point right there.
Markers aren't alcohol. That's true. You just
Yes, what Amber's saying, 100% beer after work and the great joy of life. Now, somebody who is not here tonight, but will be watching us, and he will actually, I won't spoil it, but he will be a guest here next week, believes in what they call shower beers. I've never tried it. I don't plan on trying it. Something about taking a shower and drinking beer, just, no.
all I can think of is if you drop the glass bottle in the shower, that's bad news.
It's going to be a bad day. Yeah.
Bad day. That's the one thing I really wish is that I could enjoy beer. Because in the day and age now with so many micro brews and all this stuff, I mean, it would be amazing.
Is it something physiological that like gives you a headache, or
No,
is
I
it
hate.
taste?
I think it's the taste of the hops. And I think we talked about this once, and people gave suggestions to try this and try that. And
see, this is perfect for today's show. This is perfect. We drink shower beers.
Right. Well, and is that one of those things that's the only way it makes it okay to drink beer in the morning? Otherwise, it's not okay with society. But if it's in the shower, that's like if you're at the airport, you can drink whatever time it is. If you're in the shower.
Yeah. Well, that's the beauty about Zulu time or Greenwich Mean Time. Wherever you're at in the world, it's always happy hour. Always.
But so we're going on my philosophy here. This what I try to stick at $5 or less a cigar, and these are more than that. And I enjoyed it, the one I had so much that I ordered a box. And now my whole plan is to smoke a little less so I can have the more expensive, better cigars. It's just not working out that way yet.
So is this kind of the same as the watch philosophy that you and I have discussed so many times? Yeah.
Have you ever done New Year's resolutions? No. Yeah, me neither.
We talked about this.
I know it's not going to stick.
You're setting yourself up. You're setting yourself up for failure. You really. I mean,
So how was your weekend? You said it's cold there now. Has it been cold all weekend?
No, it was 80 degrees on Friday or on Saturday. It was in the mid 70s on Sunday. Monday we had some rain, and then today it was cold because my wife and I did our date day, and we went to a Cheesecake Factory and we sat out on the patio. And towards the end, it started getting cold.
Yeah. So you're used to like 100 plus is no problem. So when it's like 80. To you, is that like perfect? It's not too hot. Like 80 is.
Oh yeah, 75 to 80 is perfect for me. But I like colder weather too. Like I enjoy it. But if you ask my better half, 80 is perfect. 70 is starting to get chilly, and anything below 70, she's in a coat.
Oh yeah, is she in a jacket at 70?
Oh, she wore a down jacket to the restaurant. I mean, a down vest. So yeah.
I see. All righty.
But yeah, I mean it. Oh, and I meant to ask you about another cigar that you posted about. What did you think of the wasabi?
I tried to think about, because you talk about spice, right? And it's
Mhm.
not pepper, right? You're
No,
talking about some other kind of spice. I might have got, because I don't retrohale, I don't get tasting notes, so that might be the problem. I just like them or I don't.
all right.
And
Try
so it was.
retro. Try retrohaling a wasabi.
I don't think so. I
Why?
don't.
It's just that hit you get. You like wasabi in sushi?
A little,
Do you like the wasabi, the
bit,
green
little
stuff?
bit.
Oh,
Yeah, well, I know, but a little bit. I'm saying.
oh, see, like when we go eat sushi, you take the soy sauce, of course, low sodium, has to be low sodium, in the green bottle, and you pour that into it, and then you take the chunk of wasabi and you start mixing it. And if it turns out to be like a grayish brown paste, that's
Oh,
the perfect
jeez.
amount. Oh, it's wonderful. Because the thing about wasabi is it's a quick hit. It hits you, your
Right.
eyes go crazy, and then 5 seconds later it's gone. It's not like some of the Mexican spices or some of the hot sauces who we will not talk about that linger forever.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is I could maybe work my way up to greater concentration of wasabi, because it's not like you're saying you have too much of a hot sauce and your tongue is numb the whole meal after that.
Well,
Right.
let's make that a goal for the con in Vegas. The upgrading of wasabi in your palate.
So yeah, do you even taste the sushi if you're
Oh
putting
yeah,
that much wasabi on
absolutely. Yeah, I have a method. If it's nigiri, which is just the rice with the salmon or whatever on top, that I eat. I may dip the wasabi, but that's it. But if it's a roll, like let's say a spicy salmon roll, I'll take the roll, I'll take the ginger, dip the ginger in my wasabi paste stuff, lay that ginger over the top,
it?
put it in, and you get the flavor of the spicy salmon, the rice, and the sweetness and the tartness of the ginger. Oh, it's
Oh
perfection.
my
Now,
gosh!
why do you think I've been bugging everybody about all you can eat sushi joints in Vegas?
Yeah,
Sushi
that's
coma
nuts.
is my goal.
Yeah. Well, I mean I mean, do what you do. But if you go to the super high-end sushi ones, aren't they like you're not even supposed to dip that stuff in soy sauce? They make it the
Oh,
way that it's
oh
supposed to
yeah.
taste, and
Yeah, that's why I was looking for the buffet, or not the buffet type, but the all-you-can-eat sushi place. Because you go to a traditional sushi place like in Japan, and you do something like that, they'll smack you. They'll
yeah.
literally, they'll quite chang you. They'll
Ha-
get you.
Have you ever had real wasabi, the stuff that they grind from the
Hmm.
plant there?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Is
just
that
it's
is that
it's it's a horseradish. It's like
well,
a
it's not
horseradish.
horseradish.
Yeah,
It's its
it's a
own thing.
Japanese horse. Yeah, but it's a Japanese
Whoa.
horseradish. Yeah, but I like horse.
Is
But
it
see, that's another thing that gets her upset when we go out to have prime rib. In the creamy horseradish, that's horseradish for babies. It's got to be the stuff it's chunky, and you take that and
mm,
you spread a layer on it on your prime rib, and then you take the prime rib and you eat it, and that nasal just explosion happens, and your eyes water, and you take a deep breath. Oh, it's wonderful.
all right? You might tick me off with this answer. When you have a filet mignon,
Hmm. Which I
what do you
really
put
don't
on it?
like, but that's nothing.
You don't like it?
No, it doesn't have
Nope.
as much. It doesn't have as much flavor as a T-bone or a porterhouse. It really doesn't. I mean, I'll eat it and it's nice, but it doesn't have a ton of flavor.
Interesting. Well, that's good because it's T-bone's cheaper. So
Well, yeah, and those no, a certain individual I know loves A1 steak sauce. Loves it. It drives me bats. It drives me bats because it's like no. There's two things that drive me bats about steak. Well done,
yeah.
that drives me nuts,
Mm.
and putting anything other than what it was built to be. Just salt, pepper, grill marks, done. Now, I have a friend that actually puts ketchup on a sirloin.
Well, that's because sirloin sucks. That's why you got to add some. Get, but
True.
see, that's ironic you say that, because so like your prime rib example, somebody could say you got to really taste the flavor of the meat, and if you're slathering it with something,
Well, but the thing is, what I notice about the horseradish is the horseradish actually enhances the beefy flavor to me.
then, well, all right. Well, I'm glad we started off with food. We don't need to worry about
Yes,
looping back.
I am very excited.
Hmm.
Dipstick and well, when I do a reverse sear, that's what I'll do is I'll baste it in butter towards the end when it's up around 700 degrees. But
Yeah.
that sounds good.
Well,
But
that's what's crazy. That's the difference between like cooking in the restaurant and at home, right? Is that in the restaurant, they got a stick of butter in the pan to finish off
Mhm.
your steak with,
Right.
and most of the time at home, you're not melting a pound of butter to finish off.
Ketchup,
Maybe
this is an interesting statement. Ketchup is for meatloaf. Catsup is for sirloin.
I didn't know there was a difference.
I didn't. Well, I guess Heinz versus 57. But no, I'm very interested in tonight's subject. In fact, I have my phone here, and I'll let you explain. I have my phone here that's set for a random number generator. So have at it.
Yeah. Well, so here's the deal is, often it's like the day before. This was 2 days before, but we're like, what the hell are we going to talk about?
Mhm.
And it's like, we've covered all of the main things. P-Beat in the house. Good to see you.
Although I do not have the searing plate that is the surface of the sun, but living in Arizona, I just kind of throw it up on the roof, and that's good enough.
So from time to time, I've looked for like podcast topics, all this stuff, and it's been unsuccessful because they're always like, we'll talk about your hobby or talk about politics, whatever. It's not just short thing, but I found a list of 250 conversation starters. And I said, well, there we go. It's like roll the random number thing. We'll pick that question, and that starts the conversation, and we'll see where we go.
Okay, tell me when you're ready.
I'm ready. I got my list here.
We're having some issues. Hold on a minute. Oh, there we go. 158. The number is 158.
And I'm gonna be honest because I know I could just read out whatever, but we'll go to 158. All right, this one's kind of, but we'll go. If you could change one thing about school, what would it be?
Teachers' pay.
Teachers' pay.
Mm-hmm.
That's fair.
Because I think teachers in today's schools get frustrated because they're making so little money. They're having to pay for their own supplies, and they do it. They don't do it. I honestly believe teachers do it for the love of the thing, and that's it.
100%.
And what would you do in that same question?
Well, all right. So that's a good. I got other comments about what you just said, but okay. I'll give my answer. Is I would somehow, again, I'm thinking more like past high school, like after high school, that you would get credit for life knowledge. Because I realized you can know all sorts of stuff about, that. So whatever, like you said, you had to learn anatomy to go through barbering class, right? Mm-hmm. So if you can pass the test for anatomy, why should you have to sit through a 3-month class, buy the books, all this stuff, if you already have the knowledge?
Well, isn't there some schools now that they've kind of adopted that thing where they, you get credit for previous employment, what you've done? I think that a lot of places, like I think the University of New Hampshire does that, where, life experience, the University of Phoenix does that for life experiences, that you can apply that to.
I don't know. I know some places you can test out of like math. You can take a math class.
Yeah, you can clip out of it, right?
But other ones, it's like you have to have X number of credits and whatever, and it doesn't matter. And I remember like my opinion is the farther I went in school, the more it became just jumping through the hoops to get the paper. And it just seemed like, especially as an adult back in school, it seemed ridiculous.
Well, this is a good comment. Counselors who don't offer advice to students, in high school, and I know the whole story here. I'll paraphrase it a little bit, but I think that counselors, their job is really to take a student who has excelled in certain things. And I should say that I do know that Tig Lilly, graduated high school in 3 years, extremely, extremely smart. And there are subject matters that, that depending on your demographic location where you're at, you don't get exposed to. So to me, a counselor needs to say, hey, did you know that with your skill set and everything else, you may want to consider a career in this or a career in this? Because that to me is what counselors are there for. And unfortunately, in that case, in her case, the counselor basically did none of that. And so that, and believe it or not, counselors can kind of chart the direction of somebody's life if they're, if they do it the right way, so.
We had to take a test. This may be similar to what you're saying about what career would you be suited to based on this test you took about what you will never guess what it suggested that I do. I should be a bus driver. That's what the recommendation was in high school from my career test. I should be a bus driver. Right. Could you imagine me bitching about everything and people on the, yeah.
Actually, now that I hear this, yes.
I would be good at that. I would be perfect for bus drivers.
So reintroduce life applicable skills such as personal finance, home and economics, and shop. Well, those of us of a certain age, we had to take that. We had to take economics. We had to take, I forget what it was, but you learn how to sew. You learn how to do all that stuff. But they don't do that anymore, I guess.
You don't do that anymore. And it sucks because I think we talked about this on one of the shows that we're having to teach our kids just basics like how a credit card works.
Right.
And
how to balance a checkbook. Stuff
right.
like
well,
that.
Who does that? But right. So, but do you write checks?
No, but I have a checkbook register on my phone. That's awesome. It's awesome. It's awesome.
But wait a minute. If you don't write checks, then that means you use a debit card, right? And it comes right out of your account.
Right.
So you automatically know what your balance is.
Yeah, but I from years ago, I got so used to keeping a checkbook register that I keep a checkbook register. Because what I do is when I go to a store, I go in, do my thing, pay for it, come out, and if it's cash, I take the receipt and chunk it. If it's not, if it's on a debit or a credit card, I sit with my phone with my check register, put it in right then and there, and then it's one less worry I have. I do know people that have stacks of receipts that don't do that just say, oh yeah, it'll come out, and they'll go into their bank account to check their bank balance. I don't trust the bank. So I want to make sure that it's exactly what
you don't trust. You don't trust. Okay.
No. Are you ready for the next one?
Well, no, I'm not.
Oh, okay.
This could last all. But so my comment about teachers' pay is I agree because you don't necessarily. So you get people that are passionate teaching, but then you also don't always get the best people because, like, if I wanted to go teach nursing, I would have to cut my pay by a massive amount to go be a teacher, right? So I'm not about to do that. And I would think, oh, that would be a great retirement job. But, when I'm 70, I'm not about to go look for another job. But so it's the same thing with all these other classes. They don't have the funding, right, to have all these classes. But the question then becomes, I've thought about this, is that, in our area, like, you go work fast food, it's $19 an hour. And you're there for a little while. You're getting paid $22 an hour to work fast food. And so say teachers' pay goes up to what it should be, equivalent of every other professional. Everybody pays goes up. The cost of everything goes up. And so the equivalent of what you're earning is less because everything costs more, right? Like McDonald's now costs you $20 to go to.
True.
And so I don't disagree, but then I also worry about how can everybody get paid what they should get paid without driving up the cost of
absolutely.
Of everything.
No, I agree with you 100%. I think it's top. I mean, you can argue that, these guys that are playing professional sports that make more than our president, I'm sorry. I just, a teacher's making 35, 40, maybe 50, 60 grand a year. And then if you're in the collegiate realm as a tenure professor, you're making 150 maybe. But now in college, the sophomore student that you could be teaching who plays on the football team could be making $3.6 million a year.
Or the football teacher, the football coach for high school probably makes more than all the teachers do.
Exactly.
Right. For if you're a good.
Right.
Yeah.
You know,
All right. Go ahead.
And basically he's in charge of jock straps. But anyhow, okay. Oh, this is irony. 69.
69. Question for Rich. Here we go. What hobby do you wish you were good at? That's a good one.
Wow, that is a good one.
Because, most of our hobbies take, well, except for shaving, don't take much skill, right? It's purchasing and enjoying other people's efforts.
Wow, that's a tough one. Woodworking.
Oh, yes.
I would love, because I've seen people that, in fact, that our friend that puts ketchup on his steak is an amazing woodworker, and it's just all self-taught. It's just beautiful. That or being an artist,
I didn't say it, but
well, for instance, that individual is a tremendous artist.
Yeah.
I mean, in fact, there was a point in time when I took a piece of paper and I drew a cross in it, and so you have 4 quadrants, and I drew a line in each one of the boxes, and I said, make a picture and a drawing about this, and all 4 drawings were like amazing, and I was like, I can't even draw stick people, correctly.
Here, PB golf.
No, I quit golf. Mm-mm.
So you know what? I can't argue with his answer that he wishes he was better, but you can be kind of bad at golf and still enjoy it, I think, depending on who you're playing with.
True.
If you're on the short 3-par courses and you with somebody that don't, because I played golf for several years, and I do the thing where, like, if I hit a bad shot, I just pick up the ball and go, I'll pick it up at the next tee. Screw this hole. Like, who cares?
Well, you can do that up to a point, but at a certain point when you feel like you start, and this is where the golf gods come into, you start getting better, so you start taking it more seriously. And the more serious you take it, it teases you and says, okay, we'll make your handicap just a little bit lower. And then you become competitive, and then it comes back at you and smacks you in the face.
Here's one. Playing a musical instrument. So I was going to say that's what I can't sing worth a darn. Our youngest is a great singer, and always been jealous of people that can do it, because no matter where you are, you can entertain yourself, you can entertain others, right? And same thing with, like, not a piano, but those folks that like carry around a guitar, right? Those what in high school they were the ones that got the chicks, because they could just sit there lunchtime and be strumming their guitar, and they get all the attention. But that ability to take some kind of musical entertainment that entertains yourself first anywhere, that I would love to be able to do that.
Now you brought that up. I wish I played the musical instruments I have more often, because I can play guitars, the guitar, right? Yeah, I can play the guitar, I can play the banjo, but I just don't have the time to spend and dedicate to it like I should. Right. Because you got to get in 3 cigars a day. So exactly. I mean, there's only so much time. That's exactly. Right. All right. You ready for another? What's next? Yeah. 215. Whoa, we're deep in the questions here. Are you enjoying this? Is this going okay? I like it. I think this is a great idea. And we could actually, the nice thing about it, with 250 questions, we could actually do a couple of shows on it. Oh, for sure. So I'll also say these are divided up into sections. And I told Dave there's a couple sections that just wouldn't work for this, and we'll skip those. But this one's under conversation starters at a bar. Ooh, all right. Okay. Would you ever dance on top of this bar? So I guess the question would be, would you ever, I don't know, make a fool of yourself? And have you ever danced on top of a table or a bar? Okay, here's a story that was related to me. I don't know if it officially happened, but I don't think the guys that were in my squadron would lie to me. And it also ties in together with tequila. So tequila, a bar, a pool room, and pool chalk. All I know for sure is that yes, I did dance on top of a bar. 2, that I passed out on a pool table, and 3, when I woke up, I was covered in pool chalk. That's all I know.
Boy,
They
you
will
got to
not tell
wonder
me.
what happened that they are not going to tell you about.
They won't tell me. They won't
Yeah.
tell me. So
That'll be like when you're 80 and you're laying there your last days, they're going to show you a photo of what happened.
I don't know if I want to see it. I really don't. I think I've been happily ignorant all these years.
Yeah.
So, but that's a good question. So, what Pantea said, if I were drunk, she would, like a Smurf.
Blue pool chalk.
Oh, okay. Yes. Okay.
Blue like
So,
a
how
Smurf.
about you? Would you ever do that? And actually, we may be able to find this out in about a month and a half.
Well, so that's when it would happen, right? If I was around, a bunch of guys. The problem would be is, I'm not spry anymore. So I would have to make sure first that the table was structurally sound would be the problem, because I'm not about to get on one with that center pillar. You step too far to the side and then you're on a YouTube video with a broken hip.
Well, see,
No.
I was just going to say that to dance on a bar, the bar is sturdy enough, but the problem is the
Oh.
logistics of getting on
Getting
top
up there.
and
Help,
getting down.
help
Yes.
help me up here. Well, because that's
So
the funny, because you get to a certain age, right? Like you kind of don't sometimes care what you go out wearing in public. You're a Saturday morning, you're going to get donuts. You're like, whatever, I'm wearing this. I don't care what people think. Same kind of thing. Like if I wouldn't get in trouble, I would get up on the bar and I'd do like whatever. Like, yeah.
Well, so we need to bring this question to our barflies, and not very many people know this, but this was Band of Prosciutto video does show. That's right, it does show Spider during the song Tequila dancing on the bar, and he's also playing maracas.
I 100%. It wouldn't take more than one request for get Spider up dancing on a bar.
No.
Yeah.
But I will say that I've seen somebody who had a couple of martinis. Now, this person says they only had one martini, but the martini was in a glass this big. But, well, I can't go into that story because it's...
Wow, save that for Vegas.
Well, see, here was the warning shot. That was the warning shot.
Like, don't forget I'm here.
Exactly. So yeah, so I think so is there anybody out in the bar, the barflies, that would actually get up and dance on a bar or a table? Just say yes or no, Y or N. Nobody wants to admit it.
Yeah, I don't know. Amber's awfully quiet during these questions. I could see both of them, Spider and Amber, up on the bar
With pizza.
with pizza.
With pizza.
Yeah, or for a pizza.
Or White Castle.
Yeah.
Yeah, that old, what would you do for a Klondike bar? Could you say the same to Amber and KJ? What would you do for a pizza? Oh, look at this. In my younger days, I would. I might fall off the floor. See, that's just it. When you get to a certain age, all those things that you thought would be fun, now you're thinking about how much your deductible is in your.
That's right. That's right.
And Tather says too many times. So there's a story there, obviously.
Oh, all right.
It's good to know.
All right, him to the guest list.
All right, you ready for another one?
Yeah.
196.
All righty. Oh, this is under. Okay, we'll see if this makes sense. Oh, well, I'll ask because I'm not skipping, but these are conversation starters for a first date. What's your favorite food? But we've been
sushi. Yeah, yours. What's your favorite food?
I'll say cookies because I won't ever turn down a cookie. I'm going to ask the one after this though. What's the worst thing you've ever eaten? The
worst thing I've ever eaten.
Guys, put that in the chat. What's the thing
Taro.
that you thought I'm gonna try
Taro.
and it's never going?
Taro. Poi.
You know what?
Taro and poi. That's it. Plain
I
and
was
simple.
gonna say the same darn thing. We were at a luau and
Cool.
tried that stuff, and that is awful.
Yeah, basically, you spend $10 for a
Ooh.
bowl of purple soup where you could go down to Home Depot and just get some caulking and just shove it in your mouth.
Okay, Amber, you need to expand on this because shellfish is a very wide category. I mean, you got lobster, you got shrimp, you've got oysters, you've got
Sharon
clams.
Tig Lily put that in. A bad oyster.
No. Amber has shellfish in general, but yeah, a bad oyster. I can't imagine the taste of how it'd be rank. It would smell right and bad fish stink.
Well, she's never been able to eat an oyster again since that.
I've never. Have you eaten oysters?
I love oysters. I love them.
I don't get that. My wife likes oysters. I've never tried one back when I wasn't allergic to shellfish, and I don't because you kind of swallow it whole, right?
Well, basically, the way I
point.
explain it to people is it's basically like having a very, very serious lung infection where you get the phlegm. Just add Tabasco sauce. That's an oyster.
And you love that.
I love it.
So so then it's just a vehicle for Tabasco sauce.
Well, you could say
an expensive vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got Amber's wrong. I thought we were answering. She was answering the what would you never have again? So she loves shellfish. Her favorite.
Now this was the worst thing. The
Yeah.
worst thing that you've ever eaten. Major Ridge says tripe.
Tripe. Have you had tripe? You have because it's all like menudo and stuff.
Menudo.
Right?
Mm-hmm. It's wonderful. It's wonderful. And contrary to popular belief, all the nasties are cleaned out of the tripe before you eat it. It's not like you get.
Right. I'm not worried about. So there's all sorts of stuff I would like to try without knowing what it is when I try it. Just be like that long. Like there's, I don't know what else. I would like to try. What's that stinky old fruit?
Oh, durian fruit.
Durian. I would love to try that. I'm not about to buy one.
Now, see, here's an argument that we have. Uni is pretty gross.
Uni.
I love it. Uni
Isn't that
is
just a fish?
Well, it's sea urchin.
Oh, yeah, I would love to try that too.
It's the peanut butter of sushi is the way I describe it. It's got that texture. It's got the texture of peanut butter.
Yeah, you kind of ruined it right there. Yeah, I've seen it. It is kind of it gets cooked though. I've seen it on the fancy videos where you do the teppanyaki like in Japan. It's like $250 to sit there and they serve you these little things.
So what is the worst thing that you've ever tried?
I was gonna say poi.
Oh, okay. Yeah, poi is just there's no redeeming factor to poi whatsoever.
I'm trying to but we got it.
Then it's probably used as a waterproofing in Hawaii.
Come on. There's a whole culture that I guess if you're raised on it, then you
but
like
then again,
it.
I love spam wasabi. I love it.
What's that have to do with poi?
Well, no, I'm just saying it's Hawaiian. It's Hawaiian.
Oh, all right. Well, that's the American side of Hawaii. What's that purple stuff they use here all the time? No. Ube. Ube's it's very Filipino, and there's a lot of Filipinos in this area, and so oftentimes I was been exposed to it at potlucks and things, and it's this purple stuff that kind of tastes like all that other stuff to me. And they have purple ice cream and purple cupcakes and purple this and I don't.
Well, I'm willing to try anything once. I food. It doesn't because I know a lot of people will eat with their eyes. So if it looks gross or not, I love it.
That's the trouble.
Like, probably the biggest thing that's in America that people hate is probably Brussels sprouts. And see, I love them. But some people just, you say the word Brussels sprout and they just,
Yeah. I hated them as a kid and I love them now. Yeah. Have you ever had an eyeball? Have you eaten an eyeball?
You like a fisheye? Yes. There's no flavor. Just
like a whole fish, like it pops in your mouth?
Yeah, that's exactly what it does.
Is there any flavor to it?
No.
Yeah.
You get a little bit of a sea, like an oceany Taste it.
Yeah, I don't know if I can. Again, it's just the thought because you know what's happening in your mouth, right?
Well, that's like there's a I can't remember the name of it, but there is a Mexican dish that's actually fried crickets. I can't remember the name.
I'd be way more okay with that than an eyeball. And in fact, I kind of wish we would get. I mean, I don't know if this is still a thing, but what was it like 10 years ago? There was not a push, but people researching like a flour made out of crickets and stuff because it's so nutritious and cheap and all this stuff. And I'm kind of like, I don't, they're all animals.
Well, that's like that guy on the Food Network, Anthony Zimmer. He had that whole show talking about that's really we could solve all the world hunger if people would get away from that stigma of eating insects.
Right.
And the thing is, and see, Spider is smart. When you really think about it, Spider's smart because if the apocalypse happens in his basement, he's got enough food to last him for eons. Spiders and snakes,
crickets.
And yeah. See, so see, he's thinking ahead.
Yeah, that's smart.
So, you ready for another one? Okay, 163.
Oh, we're still back in the deep ones here. All right. Let me see. What section is this under?
Chapulines,
okay.
There it is.
Good conversation starters with kids. What's your favorite toy to play with?
Oh boy, you.
Yeah,
wow.
So I'm gonna say watch your answer there. So let's what's your favorite thing that you own that you enjoy interacting with?
Go on to something else right now. You answer it first.
Dig is like, no. Operation. Oh, okay. All right, you can answer straight up. P-Beat's favorite toy is Operation.
Oh,
you know what, P-Beat, though, that one wasn't that hard of a game. I mean, maybe when you're young and you didn't have good hand-eye coordination, but now, I
am in so much trouble.
That's her way of saying grow up, Dave.
Yeah, I can't help it. Okay. Wow. I don't backgammon. I like playing backgammon.
Yeah, boy, do we have to answer this right? I don't play games anymore.
Well, see that, or toys. I mean,
toys.
I mean, when I was a kid, Army Men.
Oh, you know what I had?
I don't
know if you call this a toy, but I did remote control airplanes.
So there you go. Okay.
And so that was a lot of because you built those things from scratch and a gas engine and all that stuff and the smell and
I gotta put this up.
Yeah.
Pantea is not wrong. Because I love food from that region. Sharon gets so mad at me because I will eat next to sushi. Persian and Indian food are absolutely my favorite. So, yeah.
Really, but you guys do Mexican a lot. Is that just because it's convenient?
Well, no, that's because.
Oh.
I figure I've already torpedoed myself. I might as well, sink myself.
I think we need an after show that's just you and your wife for the 20 minutes after the show. What gets
and there's the answer that shuts down this question.
Well,
Spider's favorite toy is ambulance.
Ambulance.
All right, let's move on.
Enough of that.
Okay, 30.
Wow. Okay, let's see. This is for any situation, so this will clearly be a winner. Okay, this is boring. Would you rather be really hot or really cold? And then I'm going to ask the next one because that'll take us longer.
Well, I've already been really hot. I would say, which one do I like better? Hot.
Yeah.
Hot.
Yeah.
Because at this age, cold has a tendency to make you hurt.
think her answer surprises me because I like it same as your household, much cooler on an ongoing basis. But yeah, there's always that saying is you can add layers, but you can only yeah, I guess just the feeling if you're talking about your body, like you're not compensating by layers or air conditioning or whatever. Cold, hot, you're like you don't want to move, you're sweaty, you're stinky. Yeah,
Well, but the thing is, now I'm basing that on where I live, and we don't have any humidity. So the heat here is not that oppressive, sweaty. You don't sweat here. You turn into a gecko. You
but
turn
you're
into
still
a lizard.
hot.
Yeah, but I don't know. I may have to change that answer because I do like it cold. I do, because I'm always turning. We're having the thermostat wars. I'm always turning it down.
So that's like in the summertime out on the deck when it's too warm for me and the sun's hitting, I won't stay out long, but I'll be caught out here when my fingers and toes are getting numb and I'll put up with it.
Qualify hot where you live.
90s. It's what you're climatized to. All right, let me ask you the question after this. Okay. Which isn't going to be fun, but it should be more of a conversation. What are your thoughts on the British royal family?
Honestly, I think it's pretty cool. They don't do anything. They're not worth anything as far as politics or anything like that. But the one thing about the monarchy that I do like is the fact that it harkens back to, the days of King Richard and the days of, Robin Hood, that mythical time. That's why I think I like the Renaissance Festival so much, is because it harkens back to that. And the one thing I will say for the British people, whether they like the monarchy or not, if you tell them that they were going to get rid of the kings, the queens, and stuff like that, they'd shank you because that's something that they have. So Harry's a toss.
So this sounds like an official British opinion to me.
Yeah, exactly. Well, we know that the new king is not going to be king probably that much longer. But yeah, it's historical. I think that's why I like it. The artisan Brits in the past. Now I know I'm surprised. I'm surprised somebody has not commented on this yet.
Are you going to throw your neck out again, pointing to who that is?
Yeah, always. That they're actually reptilian.
Oh, are they? Good to know. So I think it's just very interesting because they're a financial suck on the country, right? Supporting these folks and their protection and their travel and all this stuff, but the people seem to gather around them and it's a source of inspiration and all that stuff. So in terms of that, then good for them. I think it kind of, it is historical, so it's the way that it is, but it kind of sucks that just because you're a child of one of these people, all of a sudden you get, kind of power and all of this stuff. But
Tather brought up a good point, even though he thinks Harry's a toss, which I want that on a shirt. I do. I want that on a shirt that said Harry's a toss. But think about it. So Harry was born, unbeknownst to him, behind his brother. Okay? He will never, no matter what happens, he will never be king. So
yeah.
Do I understand why he has a bit of an attitude? Yeah, I think so.
Okay, well that's a whole nother topic,
sure.
Which I think is bullshit because you were born into this, and given he didn't just sit back and live the luxury life. He went into the military. He does all this stuff. But then to bitch and moan about, it's public eye and it's so hard and it's all this stuff. It's like, but that was kind of like this the role of your family, right? That's what I think.
They've written him off too, for the most part.
Right. But what I think is interesting is that, when you go over to England and the Queen, so I think there's like the whole royal family thing, but then there's the Queen, like she was forever. Cool. And there's her initials on everything, right? And then so she passes away. And one of my thoughts was, how long is it going to take for them to replace? It's not just signs. It's like built into their roads and all of this stuff. Mm-hmm. But I guess they're probably not going to have to worry about that because King
Well,
Charles is, I don't think, short for
well,
this
and
time.
Pantea brings up a good point. I mean,
Yeah.
the Diana, she was the martyr for everybody because everybody loved her more. I mean, you could argue that the monarchy was held together by a lot of what she did because everybody loved her. But speaking of monarchy, we were very close in the 60s under John F. Kennedy. They called it Camelot. That was probably the
Oh,
closest we ever got to Americans looking up at a group of people as royalty, for lack of a better
everybody support.
term. Mhm.
Could you imagine if they never divorced and Diana was queen now? People would be thrilled. And then
Oh,
Chucky there's
absolutely.
going to pop off and you'd have Queen Diana running for, right? I mean,
Yeah.
you've seen his hands. Them sausage fingers are not healthy. That's my professional.
It's too much bangers and mash and too much beans on toast.
You know what, though? He does like Lafroig, so you got to give
Yes,
him that.
that's true. That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
And and let's face it, he was the well, who currently is the Duke of Scotland? Was it him? No, I don't know. I don't understand the monarchy, so
I don't know. That's the whole weird thing is they just kind of get given titles willy-nilly at some point, right? You move up and you're not just king or prince or whatever. You're also
yeah, like
Duke of
she is
this and that. And
yeah, she's the Duchess of York. That would be like somebody here saying, "Yes, you are the Princess of Reseda."
they ought to pass those around, like we're both lords because we own property in Scotland now.
That's true. In fact, I'm looking at my deed right there.
Right.
We
But,
own property in Scotland.
You ought to be able to buy yourself into some better titles.
Exactly. That's a good idea. All right, we ready for the next one?
All right.
Okay, I'm going to skip that one because we're back up into the weird stuff. 31. Oh, no, that was the one you just read then, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Okay. 177. That's the second time it's come up, so we have to go with it.
Oh, have to. Okay.
Yep.
No matter what.
And see, this would be a perfect one for Rich. The Earl of Worcestershire.
With the power of the Daves, we now knight you, or what would we do? Earl of Worcestershire.
Sorry, I don't have a sword. You're going to have to take a chopstick.
Well, I think that's appropriate.
Okay. Yeah, actually.
Change his custom title. He's now Earl of Worcestershire.
Earl of Worcestershire. Thank you, Rich. You will see your new title post with.
What is the weirdest text message you've ever gotten?
Text message?
Text message.
Weirdest text message? Oh, the weirdest one or the most aggravating one?
Well, it's your show.
Okay.
Answer how you wish.
When I am sitting in the driveway and I get a text message saying, "Are you going to the store?" And I've already been to the store.
Are you just trying to sleep on the couch tonight?
No, I haven't gotten. I don't think I get weird texts. Your car warranty. Call us about. Oh yeah, I'm watching you. Yeah, that would be kind of freaky. No, I really haven't gotten any weird texts.
No, I had somebody that did that. You sometimes see videos about this. Had the wrong number, and
hey, you know what? Do not make Dave suffer because of my actions.
That's right. What would they call that? Collateral damage.
Mm-hmm.
I had somebody, I don't remember what it was about, but it was one of these like, hey, Billy, make sure you let somebody know what, and I played along for quite a long time. And they ended up, it went on for several texts back and forth. And I'm like, well, I can do that as soon as I get home. And it's like, where are you right now? And you're like back and forth.
Wow.
And then they stopped texting for a while. And then a few days later, I got another text and played along again. I was expecting them to figure it out and, lay into me or whatever. It was fun. That was enjoyable.
Well, that it's not really a text message, but there's a guy on YouTube that goes after scammers, telephone scammers. Oh, and he just goes along with it, and he just aggravates the bejesus out of him. I think that's pretty funny. So
yeah, I've seen both. I've seen that where he's like Is this the guy that pretends to be like an old lady, and then he actually goes to Target, and then he says, "I got these, and I redeemed them for you," and the guy starts screaming, and that's the best. But I've seen the other ones where they're super good hackers, and they can find where these guys are, and they've hacked into like their webcams,
Yes.
and it'll show them pictures of themselves, and I love that stuff.
Yeah. That's pretty cool. All right. How about so that was that one. Okay. Oops.
One or two more.
Okay. 112.
112. Wouldn't this be a fun first date?
This is actually an excellent. We need to use this more often because we've only gone through like 8. So
okay, this one doesn't work.
Okay, let me pick another number. 106.
Nope.
Jesus. 216.
Okay. Well, and these would be good to ask some of our guests.
Mhm.
Oh, this will be the thing. Before we end the show, we do a random number, and they have to answer the. Perfect.
Very good.
Okay.
Very good.
Have you ever done karaoke?
Yes.
Expand, please.
Yeah. I mean, karaoke's fun. In fact, we are looking into doing it at the con this year.
Do you have a song?
Yeah, Obla Dee, Obla Da from the Beatles.
Oh, I've never done karaoke because I'm terrible.
But see, that's the fun of karaoke. Is it doesn't matter whether you can sing or not. And
well, you said
the
so.
thing is, there's certain songs that are taboo in karaoke, at least because we used to have a friend of ours that they'd have a Halloween party every year, and the karaoke was part of it. And we would pick "Bye Bye American Pie" by Don McLean. Well, that's like a 14-minute song. See, yeah, there's proof right there.
Okay, so Spider, Amber, what are your go-to songs?
And don't say my ding-a-ling. Please don't say that.
So I would do it at the con, but there would have to be enough of a buzz going on in my head to get to that. We wouldn't just start it up and.
Somehow, I don't think that that's going to be that much of an issue.
Tequila. Oh, come on! Have you seen the video of the guy that does tequila on one of those shows, the talent shows? He just sits there and waits for the. Yeah.
Can I tell you a quick story about that Halloween party?
Oh,
there was a guy, and this and our friends that used to do the Halloween party, they went home. They had somebody professionally come out and do karaoke, and there was this one gentleman, I can't remember his name. No, we're not recording. Oh, recording the karaoke. Yeah, I'm not recording this episode because I don't want it played back to me. No, but he would dress up as the same thing every year. I mean, and this goes like 8 years. And by the time he got on the karaoke stage, he would always pick one of these melancholy love type songs. And he couldn't sing, and people would literally leave. He'd be sitting there by himself, everybody dancing, eating, or whatever. Oh, it was painful to watch.
See, that's what I think. Is I would get up there, my voice be all over the place, and people would like turn and start talking to each other.
Oh no, he was just depressing. I mean, everybody was having a great time, and he'd come on, and yeah, the moon would set. It was that bad. The moon didn't even want to be up. Yeah, it was terrible.
How about Comfortably Numb? I don't even know what song I would sing.
Comfortably Numb would be a good one. Yeah. WAP, no. No.
No. All right, one more.
All right. 24.
Ooh, up at the front. Let's see what this section is. Oh, this is any situation, so this will be perfect, no doubt. Hold on.
Okay, you know what? That's a pet peeve of mine. Okay, when people, the people do this. Yeah. Now, when they do it like this, no big deal. But have you ever seen the people that just basically go like this? And it's like, I don't want to touch the book. I don't want to touch the magazine. I don't want to touch the money that they're touching.
Yeah. Sorry. Hey, did we already talk about this? How did you open the plastic bags during COVID at the grocery store?
Well, you mean after I got them home?
No. You know, you're in the produce aisle and you got to pull, and you can't open the damn things with your fingers.
I did it.
Whoa, dude, living on the edge.
Yeah.
What's the one thing you can't live without? And don't get, you can't be the my wife or
Okay.
my
See,
dog.
that would have erased everything that happened tonight. The one thing I cannot live without.
You have food, you have shelter, you've got your family. What else?
My watches. No, I could live without those. The one thing I could not live without. Pets.
All right.
What is there?
That's kind of
Go ahead.
all right. I was gonna say quiet time. I realized the older I get, the more I need just like not noise sometimes. If there's noise all the time. Have you watched the show The Bear?
No.
Oh, that is excellent. And do you know the story behind it? It's this guy who's a Michelin star chef that I think his brother dies, who runs like a I don't know, sloppy sandwich shop in Chicago, something like that. And he goes there and to help run this shop. And the yelling and the chaos and all that stuff of the kitchen just ongoing. And they do it so well. We saw a couple episodes. It was just like nonstop. And you're just like anxious and your body's tight. And as soon as the show's over, you're just like, oh my gosh, that was exhausting to watch.
Now, PB actually reminded me, so I'm gonna change my answer. The mountains. That's the one thing I could not live without.
Nature?
Mountains. Specifically mountains, yes.
Internet broadband. Oh, that would be, this is crazy now. We talk about the young generation and they're stuck to their social media and stuff. I don't know about you, but you like standing in any line, right? You pick up your phone. If you got like, you got like 30 seconds of downtime or whatever. I feel it. Good thing you don't have that mustache.
God, it would have been gone. Yeah.
Yeah.
See, now you know what that was? You know what that was? That was karma.
Mm-hmm.
Because contrary to popular belief, the person I'm speaking of has telekinetic powers. And I guarantee you that was
she's laughing in the other room right now. Served you right. KJ, she is not. When we're in Vegas, she'll be down in San Diego visiting her eldest. Where she'll be. All right. Well, yeah, I totally think we hit on something.
Let's do one more. I'm excited. Right. Let's do one more. What are the 200s?
Let's see. At a bar.
Here, I'm gonna hit 51.
Oh, all right.
That's middle of the road.
No, that's boring.
Okay. 109.
Okay. What inspires you at work each day?
No.
Boring. Here, you want me to? Let me go to
pick one random. A juicy one that we can end the show on, and hopefully redeem me to my better half. Well, let me ask you a question while you're looking for stuff. So please, by a vote in the Barfly bar section, is this type of subject matter and what we're doing here with picking random numbers, is this something you would like to see more and more of? Yes or no? Just put a Y or an N.
Yeah. Well, now I'm on it. I'm on this. Okay. If you could travel back in time, what decade would you choose to live in?
World War II, 1940s.
Your life expectancy would drop dramatically.
Well, the reason why I say that is every time, because we're watching a show, and this is serious. We're watching a show right now called Masters of the Air.
Yeah.
It's on Apple TV. And every time, now granted, with my military background, that has a little bit of the effect of me. But every time, and I don't know if anybody here believes in reincarnation or any of this other crap, but every time I see these guys in the B-17s or in the P-51s or in that, the scene as I'm watching it, it's almost as if I remember being there. For whatever it's worth. And so to me, yeah, it would be to go back, because when you think of the history of these guys, most of these pilots were like 19 and 20 years old, and they were thrown into this. And just to me, it's the whole era. Benny Goodman, Tommy Dorsey, the big band era, the really cool uniforms, and the women in their skirts and their hair. There was just something about the 40s that I thought was just cool.
Yeah, I like that. More sophistication, right? Everybody had
whatever
a little
happened to
higher
hats?
level morals.
Guys don't wear hats anymore. They don't wear, because right now, if you were to put on a fedora and walk down the street, you'd be a hipster doofus.
Could you imagine that when it's 110? Right, but you see pictures of New Yorkers in the summertime with their coats on, in their suits.
You're in Tucson in the middle of August. People are walking down downtown by the Congress Hotel, which was the main part of town. They're all in. I mean, it's the middle of it's a Wednesday, and people are in suits and hats. There was what you just said. There was a level of sophistication that we don't have anymore.
Yeah. Could you imagine the stench, though? Those people look good. No, I'm serious. They look good. But that room had to stink to high heaven.
That's true. This is an interesting one. I would like some expansion on this one. The early 1900s, because that was a rough time. I mean, it wasn't, people were scraping, and all the dresses, the Victorian dresses. That's cool. So before we leave tonight, hopefully everybody will put in there what decade you would have liked to have gone back to. How about you, Dave? See,
this is where I'm being just too practical. Because I think about like everything we have now, and if you knew that, I wouldn't want to live without a lot of it. But what I keep thinking about is the economy now, and the kids like struggling getting jobs with college degrees and stuff. And I wish that I were far enough in my career that I could be retired now and not have to worry about all that stuff. So I just want to be maybe born 20 years earlier.
Oh, okay.
Right. When you could afford a house on a basic income, and your retirement you knew would set you up for a living okay, and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. But yeah, there's that comment about the tail gunners. I don't remember if it was on this show or I was just mentioning it to you before when I watched that first episode of the show you're talking about. I mean, it's so well done. And really you imagine these young guys that getting shot at, right? The plane has holes in it, all this stuff. You survive, only to know you got to get back in there and do it again. I can't imagine folks that come back from that stuff not okay. Totally understandable.
Well, and you had especially the B-17, they had to do 25 missions to get back. But that one episode, and I don't know how far into the series you are, but I mean, 320 bombers went out and 34 came back.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal to think about what these young guys did. And it's amazing to even think about. So if you haven't, what we're talking about is if you don't have Apple TV Plus, get it for 1 month. Seriously, no matter what you think about Apple, it doesn't matter. But Masters of the Air is done by Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks,
isn't it?
Yeah, Tom Hanks, and they're the same ones that did Band of Brothers and The Pacific. And I would argue that this one is the best of the bunch. I mean, it's just
really, I've only watched 3, so I'm interested because Band of Brothers was amazing.
And what's amazing is this. This show is historically correct. That's what I like about all of the ones that they've done. Tom Hanks, like him or hate him, the man is amazing. This would be good, talking about, let's pick the 1960s, and talk all about the 1960s. That'd be kind of fun.
Dave, that's before my time. But what I was just going to say is you some of your clients are more elder than yourself. And it would be super cool.
That sounded so much like an insult.
No, they're older than you
Yes.
are, right? I mean,
Yes.
to them, you're the pup.
Yes.
If you got somebody that was in World War II, it would be
Mhm.
amazing to have them on our show talking about their experience. If they
Well,
were alive.
we've got. Well, you figure your World War II guys are in their 90s now, which I do have. I've got guys that were Korean War fighter pilots. I've got guys that were Vietnam. I've got tons of Vietnam guys. In fact, I've got a major who was air cavalry, so he was a helicopter driver. So yeah, I will definitely look into that. I know that a lot of times in the shop we'll talk about it, and you can see the emotional thing. Yeah, some people were born in the 60s.
Shocking.
In
No,
fact,
that would be,
one of us is having a birthday next Saturday.
man.
My last year in the 50s. I'm going to be 59. Last year.
To escape. See, this kind of stuff would be just, it wouldn't be our happy-go-lucky joking around show, but it would
Right.
it would be some amazing stories, I bet, and that would be really cool to hear.
Oh, I think it would be amazing. So I will work on that. But I think based on what the Barflies are saying, they definitely want to see us do this again. Some of us were born in the 80s. Wow.
That's adorable.
That's so cute.
Yeah. So we have another returning guest next week.
Yes. So make sure, for those of you that are basketball fans, we're going to be having Chad Vargo back, who is I would argue, a professional referee. He doesn't, not
he
in
gets
the big
paid
leagues,
for it.
but he gets paid for it. So he's a professional referee. He has a breadth of knowledge on football and basketball that are amazing. So make sure over the next week, put your questions together for basketball. And with March Madness coming, it's a perfect time to have him. So he'll be here next week. Now, next week is so we're still going to be at 6 p.m. Pacific.
But you managed to complain about it for a month so far.
Well, because next time, after the next show, I will be able to put up 6 p.m. I won't have to put it Pacific. I won't have to put it just 6 p.m.
All right. Okay, buddy.
Put up the sign, Dave.
Oh. Which one? This one?
That one. Oh, and also, you'll be happy to know that I believe we broke 90.
Woo!
I believe we broke 90. So keep telling your friends to subscribe and more importantly, like these episodes. We hope you guys are enjoying them. So
yeah, and shout out to those that watch them afterwards. We have the bread and butter of the fun of this is the Barflies that are here interacting with us, but we do have more folks that watch it after the fact. So I want to appreciate everybody that does that.
And those of you that do show up every single week, thank you.
Thank you.
It means a lot. It means a lot to us. We joke around, we have a lot of fun, but we do appreciate it. So I'm glad, Tather. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I hope everybody has a wonderful, wonderful remainder of the week. And again, don't forget to join us next week for Chad Vargo when we talk all about basketball. Say goodnight, Dave.
Night, Dave.
And we will see you all very, very, very soon.
In a minute.
Have a great day.
Hold on. Here.